Welcome back to another episode of Successes, where we dive into the journey of bold thinkers, trailblazers, and everyday leaders redefining what success means in their industry. I'm your host, Phil Portman, and today we're tackling one of the most pressing challenges in the modern business world, cybersecurity. We're unpacking how practical, smart cybersecurity strategies are becoming mission critical for every business, large or small. Joining me is someone on the front lines of this transformation. Kessington Ekhaiyeme is the founder and CEO of Ekhaiyeme Cybersecurity, a US-based managed security service provider that helps businesses defend against cyber threats without needing a full in-house team. At Ekhaiyeme, they offer 24/7 threat monitoring, compliance support, and real-world cybersecurity strategies that speak the language of business owners, not just tech teams. Kessington's story is one of innovation, vision, and a passion for making the complex simple. He's built a company that bridges technical excellence with business practicality. Kessington, I'm thrilled to have you here. Welcome to Successes.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate the introduction. Thank you. It's a great honor to be with you today. And I'm very much interested in having this conversation. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. So let's just dive into it. What does success mean to you?
Wow, that's a good question. Success to me, it means peace of mind. It means that thing that brings you to the center, that makes you do well. So when you're at peace, it begins to reflect in all things around you. So to me, success is that center, that thing that gives you peace in anything you do. That is success.
Yeah, and for you, what brings you peace? What is your center?
For me, my center would be my family. I have a wife, a very lovable wife at that, and 5 children. When I think about them, yes, 5 children. Yeah, it brings me to what matters the most. It brings me to my center. I begin to do whatever it is I'm doing. I just become better. It's like a catalyst for me when I think about my family, my wife and my children, and my extended family at that. I come from a large family from back home, and I'm a first-generation immigrant to the United States. So my family is always my center, my wife and my children.
That's awesome. Great. So can you walk us through your journey into cybersecurity, and then what led you to start Ekhaiyeme?
Oh, okay. For me, always from when I was growing up back home in Nigeria, I've always, in my family, we've always believed in entrepreneurship. We always look for problems that are out there, and we try to be the solution provider in all things. So before I came into security, I was into building of computers back in the days of Pentium computers. This was like in the late 90s to the early 2000s. And then I began to fall in love with applications that makes the computers effective to make them do the things they did. And then I was beginning to see security was becoming an issue. Data that were supposed to be confidential were beginning to be getting leaked. So I knew there was a solution that's going to be needed to safeguard those data. So my love for security began at that time. And this was around 2004 here in the United States. I was working for an ISP, and I started seeing calling in that data was beginning to be a problem, was getting out there. So my interest for cyber rekindled at that time, and I was given an opportunity to work with the cybersecurity department at that time, and that's how my journey started. So that was a need, and I sought to fill that need with the cybersecurity solutions. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we hear on the news all the time about like big data breaches. I get notifications from Google all the time about, some password being breached. It just seems like it's commonplace. Is this typically something that only the large companies have to worry about, the big corporations, because they're the major targets? Or is this something that just a smaller business should be concerned about as well?
Unfortunately, it's across board. Big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, even individuals. It's become a new norm now. Data is very expensive. You can do all kinds of things with data. So the bad guys, the malicious actors, would stop at nothing to get it. So nobody is really exempted from this. It's just the unfortunate reality. So we have to do what we need to do to make sure those, whatever is important to us, whether it's our personal data, whether it's our business data, we want to make sure we have proper controls to ensure those things are where they need to be.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point there that I don't think a lot of people think about. They say, well, I'm not in the financial industry. I don't, people aren't going to be able to steal money from me or whatever. What are they going to get? It's the data alone. It's your customers' data that they ultimately want. Any data that you have is of use because it can be resold, it can be reused. And I think that's the part that a lot of these smaller companies are. They're like, hey, I just sell this or I do this. But what they're looking for, they want your customer data. Yes, absolutely. If they can get financial information, great. But at the end of the day, that in itself, just the data and getting into your database is ultimately what they want as well. But there's also other things too, like they could potentially use your platform if you're online to launch attacks against other people. Isn't that right?
Exactly. Phil, I think you need to do what you're gonna do well in the cybersecurity space. You pretty much broke this down. So at the end of the day, it's not a one-way street. There is a lot of commonalities, and you can see a lot of sections where all of these things come together. So it's not just about the company's data; it's also their customers' data, right? It's also the implications that comes with it, especially in these days of frameworks all over the place for businesses to abide by, be it your NIST framework, be it your PCI DSS. Now you're not only answerable to your customers, you're also answerable to the regulatory bodies that are out there, and you could be attracting a lot of fines to your business and to yourself. So the data are like the golden, they're like gold for the malicious actors. They want to get them, they want to do nasty things with them, and you don't want to be a victim. You don't want to be that business that did nothing to safeguard those data. So that's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We are filling that solution of the problem we are seeing out there, and we're making it easier for the businesses, trying to make them have that peace of mind which they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been in this industry for a while, a long time. I'd love to hear how you've seen it evolve, how you've seen cybersecurity as a whole evolve over the last few years. Are we seeing changes with AI? Is that changing the industry as well? I mean, how has cybersecurity been changing over the last couple decades?
Yeah, I've been in the industry for a while, and before there was no acceptance like the way it is now. The acceptance was pretty much far-fetched before, when it all started or when I began to pay attention. As the year went by and people are beginning to see all of those attacks on the internet, people's data being out there, unfortunately, that's when businesses really get serious and they're jacked up. They want to do the right thing, right? But it shouldn't be so. We should be ready ahead of time. We should be prepared. The best time to defend is when all things seems to be calm. So you want to be able to be in a position to say, okay, we have fortified our fences. We have all the right controls in place, and our customers' data can be safe. And even just by doing that, you are giving your customers the peace of mind to know that their data is well protected. And for your business, you're going to stay for a very much long time, because you're not going to be violating any regulatory compliance requirements that are out there. So when we all started, yes, the acceptance wasn't there, but now it is, because of the awareness. Even if it's a negative awareness that you hear mostly out there, businesses are beginning to pick more interest. They are beginning to understand this is a long-term game. It should be a culture. It's now becoming part of the culture for business owners. and that's a good thing. It's a good thing for the business. It's a good thing for the country. It's a good thing for humankind. So yeah, with AI also, AI has kind of made the work even easier for us. It's made it easier. It's made it even more affordable to the businesses. So AI is a positive influence over cybersecurity and every other field that AI is being used. So that's just the way it is. So we are glad that people are accepting it. It's becoming part of the culture now to have a security shop, a security operations center stood up for businesses like what we provide. That way we can respond to incidents should they happen. Before the incidents even happen, we would have normal controls, good controls in place to catch anything out of the ordinary. So AI is a positive influence. I'll tell you that, Phil. It's a good one.
That's great. That's good to hear. Yeah. Because I know on the other side, it could potentially make things, more easier for malicious actors to do certain things, bypass,
we can
things like that, right?
We can be rest assured. Any business that's not using AI is going to lose big time. It's going to lose big time into the future, and I'm sure that's even beginning to be clear now. The bad guys are using it already. We've seen those in the logs. We've seen those in the threat logs. When you pull them up, you can see the fingerprints of all of these things. So we as business owners, as an MSSP, managed security service provider, if we are not using it, we've already conceded. We've already lost the battle. So we already have been on the forefront using AI to bring that peace of mind to business owners, the people we partner with, and the people who provide our solutions to.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so any quick tips you could give for anybody, especially businesses, small businesses, just some quick tips on what they should be looking at from a cybersecurity standpoint, or things they can do to help protect themselves today?
The easiest thing, multi-factor authentication. You could live with 2FA, two-factor authentication. The most important thing is do not rely on your typical username and password. Have a difference or an additional authentication added to that. So be it you receiving a text message, be you receiving a call or an email to verify you are who you say you are, it's very important. That's a very, very low-hanging fruit. A lot of people still don't have that. They still use their email and password, and there's nothing these days that bad guys cannot infiltrate. They cannot enter. But if you have a 2FA or MFA, that's a second line of defense, if you will. That would be a quick one I would advise everybody out there to do. And be sure of where your data is going. Be sure of where your data is going. Be aware enough. Don't put your information everywhere. Know how to spot malicious links, like when you have phishing emails. Be aware enough to be able to spot those emails, spot the language they use, so you don't fall for those phishing. A lot of those phishing, they harvest your credentials, and then they can log in to be like you. Once they log in, they are you. As a matter of fact, they are you. So you want to be sure you are able to spot those low-hanging fruits, like that comes in through your emails, or phishing that comes in through your phone texting. You want to be able to differentiate that from the real business.
Yeah. Can we expand on the password thing real quick? Why is that email and password? Why is that not good enough? In the industry, what's the problem?
It's not good enough because there are different methods malicious actors could use to log in as you, because your username many a times are already out there in the public domain. They're already out there in the public space. So when they find your username, which by the way can be your email, which is not confidential, if you will, once they try it, all they have to do is like a dictionary attack. They will keep running series of alphabets, any word in a dictionary. First of all, they will try that. So we also advise people not to use dictionary words for passwords. Instead, you want to make up a sentence in your mind. For instance, you want to say, I love success. And the I love success will be, if you're going to compress that, that would be like, ILS. I love success, right? So you want to make a long sentence and use that format to make it your password. In the case of I, you can change the I to number one, for instance. So I love success. So instead of I, you use one. Then L for love. Success is S. You see that? And then at the end of it, you could put maybe like an equation, or you could put an exclamation mark or a special character. So in your mind, when you're asked for your password, you are making the sentence. I love success podcasts. You put all the first alphabets of each word, and then put a special character at the end of it. So that's not a dictionary. It's not a dictionary word, right? So you've just given yourself a better password. But even at that, the bad guys, if you keep giving enough time, they can pretty much still guess when they try different numbers and characters. It might take them a while, but they can get it. So it's always a good thing to have an extra layer of protection. That's why I talked about the MFA. So do something else in addition to your username and password to prove that you are who you say you are. That way, it's more difficult for the malicious guys to become you, logging in as you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the other thing I'd probably add on to that too is that oftentimes people are using the same password on multiple sites, and at this point, everyone's data is out there. I mean, there's a release of I think it was 6.5 billion usernames and passwords from various accounts that were leaked on the dark web. At this point, you pretty much guarantee if you're using the same username, password on multiple sites, it's out there. And
exactly.
I would guess that these bad guys are taking your username and password and trying it to see where it works, right? Trying it on multiple sites.
Exactly. They would log in. So one of the things we do also in our security awareness program for all the businesses we support, we encourage them to have their employees, including themselves, not to use business passwords and business emails for social media and other places that are not for the business. Don't use your business email and passwords to log into other places other than your place of work. So you can see there's a commonality there. So if someone were to use their business email and happen to use the same password, for instance, for a social media website, and they got hacked there, they can easily get into, acting like you in your place of business. So the same thing happens. And, as a matter of fact, like you said also, you don't want to use the same username and password for more than one account. You don't want to do that because there's going to be like a collateral damage. It's just going to be like a domino effect over and over and over. So best practices advices against that. And we definitely do that also as a business to make sure our clients stay secure.
Yeah, outstanding. So great advice. So I want to dig a little bit into your entrepreneurship journey. Would love to hear that. Now, oftentimes when I talk to entrepreneurs, they had this moment of, I don't know, risk. They had a major challenge that they encountered. Have you experienced what would you say is the biggest opportunity or concern or challenge or roadblock or something like that you've hit in your entrepreneurship journey? And then love to hear around how you approached that and how you overcame it.
The biggest challenge up till now would be knowing, like I told you, my background has always been looking for a solution when I spot the problem. I see a lot of businesses out there that are not doing what they should be doing to protect their data. Some are just not even interested whatsoever. They're not interested at all. So it's frustrating when you try to convince them for what is gainful. You see, so for what is gainful, which I can see and I know because I've been in the space for a while, I can see how this is going to be gainful for the business, convincing them and they not seeing it. So that's the times when I get a little frustrated. I'm like, this is good for you. It's good for your bottom line. It's good for the posture. It's just good. But if they don't see it, you can't force it. It's a free world, right? It's a free country. So you just leave them. And unfortunately, some of these people You see them in the news, ransomware attack just hit. They've, locked their data, and then they are going to pay ransom for what they would have been able to prevent if only they had listened. So
Yeah.
for me, that's one of those times that I was like, if only you would have listened. If only you would have listened.
So is that a lot of these people coming to you after they've kind of been caught with?
After the facts,
Yeah.
after the
Okay.
facts. And
Jeez.
then they will tell you, oh, if I had known, I'd have listened, or I didn't understand at that time. Again, it goes back to that acceptance. People think it's happening to everybody else. They are free. It's not going to happen to them. But nobody is safe, really. Nobody is exempted from the bad guys. If you come from a script kiddie, someone in the mother's basement trying all kinds of things, and then they get hold of your data, and that's it. And once it's out, it's out. It becomes difficult for you to put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to regain that trust with your customers and all that stuff as well. Yeah, absolutely. So you as an entrepreneur, what habits or routines keep you grounded and focused?
Believe you me, Phil, I'm at Mother Beach. I just got here like an hour ago. I came with my family. Like I said, my family is my center. So for me to be grounded, I have to be connected to my center. Once I'm connected to my center, everything blossoms. Everything comes alive. I begin to see things a lot clearer. So whenever the hustling and bustling, in the city of Charlotte has overtaken us, we make it a habit. We go on trips. We go on vacation trips. We either fly, like for Myrtle Beach, we had to drive like 3 hours, 30 minutes from Charlotte to come here. So that's what I do to regain my center and be close to my center, and then I can see a lot of things clearly, and then I become even more effective once I return. It's just a 2.5 day trip, 2.5 day vacation. But I tell you, it's going to be like I've rested for 1 year. When I come back, I begin to, do more things, and I begin to see the results in the hard work that we're going to be putting in. So that's that's the major thing I do to remain grounded and to see things a lot clearer.
Yeah, and a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, don't think about that downtime that's needed. And you're so bombarded with stimulus all day, right? And decisions and stresses. Your brain needs time to just process it.
And if you don't do it, at some point you could break down, especially when you're working really, really hard. I know we all work smart, but for an entrepreneur, you don't really have a vacation time. So anytime you can sneak it in there, just take it. Just take it. The body needs it, your brain needs it. And it brings out the best version in you anyway, the best version of you.
Yeah, 100%. So in high stress situations, how do you handle that? And then on the other side, a two-part question on that, somebody that's handling a major cybersecurity concern, what's the first steps that they should do?
Okay, when I'm faced with a very stressful time, I always step back, get my, I remove myself from all things computers. I just stay away and just take a little step back and do other things to distract me, take my mind off it. And then, I come back and look at it probably in 30 minutes. I come back, I look at it, and it's never failed me. It gives me the fresh opportunity to look at it from a different perspective instead of just rushing and doing it right away. So that's what I do. So for someone who has who's experienced some kind of maybe cyber breach, first of all, the first thing that will come to my mind is you need to have people who are experienced to be hands-on, people who can be hands-on, who can be watching the fence, if you will, like your night watch. So when you're asleep, you need to have a 24/7 SOC who is not sleeping, who is watching, just like what we do. So for anyone who's experiencing it, who do not have those things, the first thing we want to do is to look at all the identities of your employees, all the identities you have in Active Directory. Want to make sure they are accounted for. Let's make sure those who are there should be there. and then those who are there have the rights to do what they are doing, because there is no infiltration without identity. Someone comes in through the identity of someone within a business, or a new one was created. So it always starts with that entry point. Whether they are doing reconnaissance, they identified some kind of way, either with a username, an IP address, or a MAC address if it's an internal attack. So we want to know who is there. And then with the behaviors, we have tools to help us decipher who is doing what is doing what, and how we can arrest the situation. So that's what I would do.
Yeah. So a lot of that, like you just said, the easiest way in is through the employees, right? Through the people, because that's the weakest link in the entire thing. Is training a lot of what you do with these organizations, training their employees and teaching them what not to do or how to identify suspicious emails and links and things like that?
Exactly, it is. So we have our security awareness training that we do offer for all of the employees, and it's being tracked also. We also do simulations. We send out phishing simulations on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, depending on the business and what they're doing and the regulations they want to abide by. So we send out those phishing emails, those simulations, and then anybody who falls for it, we give them some special training in the areas they are lacking, without shaming them, but being able to do it in such a way the person will be accepted, or will accept those information you've given them, so they can spot it better. So for us, it's about doing well, just being more aware, be more educated in the cyberspace. That makes the world a safer place. So security awareness training is one of the major things we do, so no one is left behind.
Yeah, and that's a smart way of doing it, because instead of it just being like an idea or conceptual, you're saying, no, like they actually clicked this, they actually did this right here.
Exactly. And they get certifications sometimes. Say, oh, you have certificates, you've done this training, you're awesome here. We make it lively as well, so they can relate with those risks, and they can see how helpful they are for the business. If they spot it well, they are saving themselves and their employer. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, no, that's a great way of doing it. So if someone wants to dive deeper into your journey or learn more about Ekhaiyeme, where should they go?
It's such a wonderful time. Our website is, you can learn about us by going to our website. It's mssp.ekhaiyemacybersecurity.com. And if they want to try what we are offering, they can go to mssp.ekhaiyemacybersecurity.com/free trial. We have awesome things there. It's there for their taking, and we'll be more than happy to onboard any business who wants to see what we have to offer and see if it's gainful for them.
Kessington, thank you for sharing your story, your thoughts, and the incredible work you're doing to make cybersecurity more accessible for businesses everywhere.
Thank you, Phil. I'm really glad I had this opportunity. It's awesome.
Awesome. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Success Is. If you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, share, and join us next time. Remember, success isn't a destination. It's a journey you define one step at a time. Until next time, keep pushing forward and defining what success means to you. Thank you.